They're willing to battle and fight. I was proud of them. You know, we were close at times. I felt like we came out and moved the football early, played well defensively. Unfortunately, gave up, you know, a couple X plays, which, you know, you just can't hand them anything. And it just, I think our ability to have to kick field goals and their ability to hit some big plays really took the momentum. Told the team it was a quick speech at halftime. But I felt like at least that was our identity. You got to stop talking about your identity and hoping and wishing about an identity. You have to go out there and play to it and find out what it is. And I think that, you know, that was certainly who we are. You know, it's not always pretty, you know, but if we can eliminate turning the football over and we can eliminate, you know, easy plays on defense, you know, we got a chance.
You cited moments like this before where it's Pittsburgh, it's Cleveland last year where they come in and you come out and compete in the second half. How big a momentum builder can a game be like that?
Well, I mean, I hope that we can, you know, just play better and more complimentary, you know, in the first half. We got to stop letting them play defense, or we got to stop playing defense inside the 10-yard line early in the game. I know that. But our job is to play defense. And, you know, these guys, they're excited, and they should be. All the credit to the players. They're the ones that came out here and, you know, kept battling and fighting. And it wasn't easy. This is a tough place to play. Give them a lot of credit. You know, we understand the pedigree of this football team, this organization, how difficult it is to come in here and win, how difficult it is. So I'm proud of our football team.
And you always say this team isn't, you're not front runners. You know, this is you were down 14 points, came back in the fourth quarter. How much does a game like this kind of reinforce that statement?
Well, I mean, I think that it does. It's who we are. But again, you got to put it out there. You have to be willing to throw it out there and execute and fight and claw and make the correct plays into critical situations. And I'm proud to be the coach. I'm proud to represent them. But all the credit goes to the players.
Derek, obviously a big part of your identity. How'd you like the way in tonight?
Well, I mean, it just
on the other side, here's Steve Carroll on the loss.
We just got to keep
great players and terrific approach to the game and all that, and it came through and they won a game with it. And you know, credit to them. It came through and they won a game with it, and you know, credit to them.
With Derrick Henry, did they change things up, or is that just a get back, getting going over time?
No, he had a big play. You know, I mean, we were. I don't know what his numbers wound up being, but they were in a game that they needed, that they like, you know, where they can keep on pounding away, and they were very conservative with it. And after a while, you're going to make some yards, but we didn't have to give them whatever the big one was, 60 or something, whatever that was.
I know that you still have to review the tape, and it's probably too early to ask, but what did you see on that play that
we were too aggressive on the edge. I just got Jamal fired up about taking a shot at something, and the combination of how we played the edge right there, the ball bounced, and you know, he's been doing that for years. You know, he takes off and gets on the edge, and nobody can take him down. And all day long we fought to not let that happen, and then it finally did.
What did you,
to their credit.
Offense? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The offense in the second half, when you got the big play to Swain, but there's, you know, some 3 and outs there. Just anything kind of changed there in the two halves?
No, I don't know that anything changed. You know, we got, you know, they made a mistake and we took advantage of it really well, and you know, just not as, you know, we just weren't as clean as we needed to be. Third downs need to go a little bit more in our favor to keep the thing moving. But no, not in particular.
Was DK hurt? He didn't look right on that overtime.
He was a little sore, yeah, and I'm not sure exactly what it was. He banged his knee or something like that.
Do you have an update on Brandon Shell?
I don't. Sorry.
You said there's, you know, a lot of good stuff within the bad. Bobby Wagner, 20 more tackles in the sack. What do you think of?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he played a phenomenal game, and the defense did a lot of great stuff. You know, we were really aggressive and really on the attack. To hold them down like that in the running game when they really were trying, that was a good effort. You could see the line of scrimmage, how many times we tackled them for nothing, you know. But they were, you know, they stuck with it and they stayed with their philosophy. They know they got in trouble a week ago not being able to do that, and so they were able, and it won for them.
What did you think of your
Titans first? They snapped the Seahawks' 12-game winning streak in home openers. That was tied for the second longest such streak in NFL history. Then it's Tennessee's first win when trailing by 14 in the fourth quarter since 2006. That snapped a 62-game losing streak in that situation.
All right, Nabil, so let's break it down. Cowboys win at the gun with the 56-yard field goal. Arizona escapes thanks to a missed field goal by the Minnesota Vikings. And now the Titans win in overtime thanks to a field goal. That all happened in a span of just a few minutes. We got it all for you here tonight on SportsCenter. And we'll find out exactly what happens moving forward momentum-wise. I want to ask Damien this particular question momentum-wise because I don't think, Damien, there's any team from week 1 to week 2 that flipped the script more than the Titans. I mean, they had nothing at home against a team that didn't make the playoffs. And now, as Nabil said, they go into the home of the 12s, one of the toughest places to play in the NFL, and they win. What did you see from Derrick Henry, Nabil mentioned this, today that was absent last week?
Well, Zubin, that's why they play the games, right? You know, 1 week is one narrative, and then you can change it the next week. But I think with Derrick Henry, one thing about him and what we've seen throughout his career is, particularly as the game progresses, the stronger he gets. Okay, because a lot of times, early on in the game, a big back like Derrick Henry, guys are flying around and stopping that momentum. But as you continue to pound and wear and just tear on these defenses, that's when he really gets going. And that's what you saw from Derrick Henry. In this game, he just wore out that Seattle Seahawks defense. And, boy, they really brought the sledgehammer up to the Pacific Northwest.
Okay, this is a huge win for the Titans confidence-wise when you think about that 15-point comeback. But, Tim, it didn't have to be this hard, right? And there were some plays by Seattle, some big plays by Seattle that were probably preventable. Do you agree?
Oh, I definitely agree. And I think Mike Vrabel, that was part of the frustration that you were still getting from him, in the sound of his voice talking after the game, is because you think back to Seattle's struggles a year ago. They were really bad on third down. Well, now it seems like their issue is giving up big plays that don't need to be big plays. Here's a good example. Completion of Lockett. 2 defenders right there. Just make the tackle. But instead it ends up being a touchdown. No different on the touchdown that we saw in the highlight as well to Swain. It's just a busted coverage. Got a receiver running down the field on 3rd and 11. There isn't anyone within 15 yards of him. Like, those types of things can't happen if you want to go where the Tennessee Titans feel like they're capable of going. Remember, they are a playoff team and a team that's made noise in the postseason. So, yeah, they need to be better there, because what will not change is what their identity has been on offense. And what Damien is saying is exactly right. Derrick Henry does get stronger. I think the other thing that happens is the tight ends in the offensive line, they feed off it as well, and they're getting even more movement later in the football game. And then the other aspect of it is this. Look at Derrick Henry in the open field. Sometimes it doesn't look like he's running that fast, but he is outrunning the pursuit angles of defenders that are 20, 30 pounds lighter than he is and probably supposed to be faster. So it really, really incredible performance out there after week 1.
Yeah, seeing Mike Vrabel winning, it was kind of weird because he was so stressed out, right?
That must be a losing coach.
Yeah, that might be a losing coach if you didn't have the sound up. Okay, let's get to our takeaways. Tim, I'm going to go back to you. From what we have seen so far from week 2, what is your big takeaway?
Listen, my takeaway is that Arizona is for real. And I get it. They needed a missed field goal to come up with a win. But Kyler Murray is so hard to deal with right now. If you think about this, he's already thrown 7 touchdowns. He's already rushed for 2. He's thrown for about 700 yards. He is nearly impossible to contain. And then I just think there's other aspects of what they do that are really, really good. Defensively, they can rush the passer. I think they're opportunistic. And they have good supporting cast around Kyler on the offensive side. So, yeah, I think Arizona is a team to watch when we talk about all these